Well, good evening, DirtFish Rally friends. It's Saturday evening here in the service park in Gap. We have had 14 stages of the rally. David, geez, every stage has given us something to talk about, hasn't it?
But it's the Monte Carlo.
It is the Monte Carlo. But let's talk about this morning. We got up earlier than we would have liked.
Why is that?
Farmer strikes.
Yep. Moving on.
We got up earlier than we would have liked. We went to that opening stage, the start of that opening stage, in a beautiful medieval village up in the mountains. And as soon as we opened the doors, we went, ooh. And as soon as Elliot, our cameraman, stepped outside, he went, whoosh!
Yeah.
And we thought, oh, this could be interesting. And it set the tone for the day. Every stage had something interesting happening.
And in fairness, it was a proper, typical Monte stage.
You know, the treacherousness there. We've talked a lot about verglas. It's one of your favourite words.
Yeah.
Verglas, black ice, and it was ably demonstrated. And Andreas Mikkelsen, we caught up with him before the stage started. He was watching all live. He was saying, yeah, I'm looking for the ice patches.
He missed that first one,
and he missed the first one, the very first corner.
Yeah.
Mikkelsen went into the bank, and it wasn't all over, thank goodness. But it just showed you, even although they were aware of the problems out there, it was so easy to get caught out.
Yeah, totally. And it is, Cole, because as you said, we were walking up the road and you can't see it at all. And it's there and your foot's gone from under you, just in the same way that the car goes from under them. But yeah, it was a difficult first stage, but then very quickly, I don't know if we went to a slightly lower altitude, but the second stage there wasn't really any ice around and it was a bit more straightforward. And then as it dried out, third stage was even more straightforward. But this afternoon it's been pretty muddy, a lot of dirt pulled out into the roads. It's been a tricky day.
It's been a really tricky day out there. But the man who has very much mastered things out there today is Thierry Neuville. He had a magnificent opening stage, putting pressure on at that point Elfyn Evans, and he just kept going. We caught up with him just a few moments ago to find out what his thoughts were on his performance today.
Maybe you made history today.
History. I make history if I win the rally tomorrow. But now generally happy with my day and brilliant last stage. So I was really enjoying it.
It was a brilliant last stage, wasn't it? How much was in your mind about the fact that you could take those extra few points?
Yeah, I would say 50-50, 50 for the points, 50 to beat Sebastian. So, but this wouldn't have been possible if I didn't feel that comfortable in the car. So I think that's a good sign for tomorrow.
A great day for many reasons for Thierry Neuville. He leads the rally, but David, he's made history, hasn't he?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We had a little debate while we were sitting in traffic coming home this evening. Allocated. He's got 18 points allocated.
Yeah.
He's not been given them
They're
yet,
sort of,
has he?
you know that thing where somebody says they're paying you and the money's on the way into your
It
account.
is.
The points are on the way into his account. And
Explain that.
We did a story on dirtfish.com. You can go back and read it. It's basically the 18 points that he has allocated to him tonight for finishing first in the overall classification Saturday night. He only banks those points if he makes the final control, regardless of position. Yep. He can finish anywhere, he can drop down to 100 and whatever. He still gets those 18 points from Saturday. That's right, isn't it?
That is right. Now, tell us what happens as Thierry finishes tomorrow. Situation arises, he doesn't finish. What happens to those 18 allocated points?
They would go straight to Sébastien Ogier in second place. If Sébastien Ogier doesn't finish tomorrow, they would go straight to Elfyn Evans. It's whoever is in the 1, 2, 3, 4 in that classification on Saturday night, they take those points.
So everyone below you moves up
a position. Yeah, exactly.
Relatively straightforward, that's for sure. Relatively-ish straightforward. But yeah, fair play to Thierry Neuville. Do you know what, David? The other thing about this rally is, we talked about it before the start, so difficult to take big chunks of time. But my goodness me, we've seen some enormous swings. Ogier losing 20, making up 10, Neuville losing 3 or 4, making up 8. I mean, really big swings at times out there.
I think it is, the drivers probably wouldn't talk too much about this, but I think there is always that confidence element as well.
Right.
We saw that big loss for Sébastien Ogier first thing this morning. And for me, when he's trying to drive quickly and the ice notes are not quite right, it affects you because you're then second guessing yourself into even an absolute legend and an icon like Sébastien Ogier is going to have that element of doubt in his mind then. And that, suddenly you can start shipping seconds quite quickly on an event like this where,
Do you know what I'd like to do is take a look back through Ogier's victories and see where he took the lead first in those victories. Because it was 13 stages here before he actually took the lead of the rally. It's been a strange performance from Ogier. He seems to have lacked confidence at times. Maybe not in his driving, maybe in his ice notes. Who knows? But he is right there. My money is still on Sebastian Ogier.
That's the mark of a champion, isn't it? You know, it hasn't been the perfect event, but he's still there. He's still right there in with a shot.
Great atmosphere here in Gap this year, more than ever. There is so many people, so I have to thank them a lot for that. It's they're pushing me like hell, but I need that at the moment. You know, still 3 seconds to catch tomorrow, so yeah. How do we say? Game on. We tried to push as hard as we could, and yeah, I think it's been a good loop. The time lost this morning, of course, was still the negative part of this day, but tomorrow is another day, and with 3 second difference, everything is still possible.
So 3.3 seconds. They got 33. Who's number 33?
Elfyn
Evans. 3.3 is the
Didn't
gap.
really work that, did it?
3.3 is the gap between Neuville and Ogier. Opportune time to talk about Elfyn Evans, David. He's had a shocker out there today, hasn't he?
The morning was not ideal.
No.
The afternoon, he summed it up pretty succinctly in one word that we won't use on a family show, but it was pretty desperate, yeah. Elfyn, talk us through your afternoon. We don't really need to expand on that, do we? Could we expand a little bit on it?
Yeah, it's not been, of course, what we expected. Feeling not fantastic, but then not as bad as the time suggests either. So we need to find out why it is, whether I've developed some horrible habits or what's going on. But yeah, to be honest, then in the mud, later in the loop, I definitely didn't feel so good, and the gaps kept growing.
I mean, it takes the confidence away, doesn't it, when you get into them and the car starts to move around that bit more?
Yeah, I mean, when it's not working the way you expect, of course, then your confidence is knocked, and of course it's a snowball effect from there. So it doesn't take a lot of hesitation to start losing a lot of time.
He just seems to have lost the confidence in the car.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is in the afternoon, we talked about it earlier, the mud has been pulled out and it really compromises grip in the car. And that's where you get your confidence from. And when you're absolutely on top of the car, you drive through all that stuff and you don't even notice it.
No, you don't. You don't notice the little moments.
No,
It doesn't affect you at
But
all.
Elfyn, he'll start to stiffen up a little bit and you'll feel him so much more. And that's, I think, you know, that's where he is. He's at his ability to challenge through the morning was compromised by the hybrid issue, which again, go to dirtfish.com, read all about it. It's actually, he's now on his 3rd hybrid unit in the car. So, you know, he's not had a great hybrid rally.
No.
But right now, I think he needs to find his feet again, find his confidence again for tomorrow, and then just be careful, because, you know, he'll want to push on, he'll want the power stage win, he'll want to finish P1 on Sunday to take 12 points. But he's still got potentially 13 points to lose. 13 points to lose.
He's got 13 points to lose if he doesn't finish. And you have to throw out Tanak into the mix tomorrow for those points, as well as Neuville and Ogier. Maybe you throw Katsuta-san into that mix as well. It's going to be tough for Elfyn. What we know about him, he doesn't overdrive. He doesn't push himself. I can see him finishing 5th or 6th tomorrow, which is not a disaster. I can.
But again, just to come back to that, Cole, so if Elfyn did go off the road tomorrow, not only does he lose his 13 points, he gifts an extra 3 points to Tanak,
a
championship rival, because he'd step up and take those. I don't think that just
Someone said it wasn't very complicated. I'm telling you, it's complex.
But yeah, I think tomorrow we'll see quite quickly in the day where he's at, what he's going to do with the car. But yeah, he's very well aware, and right at the top of this season, when we sat down back at home in Wales with him, he talked about the need to get to the end of this rally, to lay that foundation. He needs to remember that tonight and tomorrow.
Totally. And you know, no matter what he scores tomorrow, it's not going to be a bad Monte for him. If we can get to the end tomorrow, he will have those points. As you say, that foundation will be there for Elfyn Evans. So that's our top 3 at the end of the day. Tanak was a little bit obscure. Talked once again during the day, David, about those problems, those engine problems.
You called this, Colin. I said, no, don't be ridiculous. Couldn't be engine mapping. But actually, it's exactly the same. And, you know, the whole day started terribly when he had to have the car was towed out of park firmly because they couldn't get it fired up because the battery was flat. So, you know, immediately you're on a little bit mentally the back foot. I'm not sure Tanak ever has any mental challenges. He's such a strong-minded person. But it has been difficult, and exactly what you said, the car has been just pushing on a little bit, and it seems to be more of an ALS, an anti-lag issue. I guess you can turn that down, but you're then losing the response in the car. It's difficult, and I put his theory to him that he'd been playing with it all day, just saving the tyres, getting ready for tomorrow. And actually, I think he's had these issues, and it's contained his ability to fully push. But if he can get it fixed, they've got some more ideas for tonight. Get that fixed, he could be the big 12-pointer.
Oh, he could be the big 12-pointer, and that will absolutely
fire him straight
back up.
So he's got.
Work it out, David.
I think, we'll come
lots.
back to you.
He could have lots of points. He could have lots.
Just completed the one-day women's rear wheel drive class at DirtFish, and it was a blast.
New experiences, learning a lot. It's a lot of fun.
All the enthusiasm from all the women. I felt a lot more comfortable in the car and got a lot more out of the class. And I think everyone should do it.
If we talk about other notable performances out there just very quickly, the M Sport team have looked pretty decent all weekend. Formoa has looked really good to me, really disciplined, really strong, at times a little bit of pace. Munster looked good. Yes, he made the slightest mistake on that gravel that put him into the arm cone, didn't it? And he was just slightly off the road, couldn't get back on again. But not a bad day at all from the M Sport
Come back
boys
to me now.
out there.
I've done the mental maths.
Go ahead.
Tanak could do 22 points tomorrow, and if Tanak did 22 points tomorrow, the most Thierry could do is 28. So there you go. I should have done a degree in maths.
You should have. I
Geography.
don't know why you bothered with geography. I
Shut
really
up.
don't. No, I don't know
I know
why
a
you
lot
bothered.
about clouds.
No, I really don't know. Oh, I nearly went backwards again.
That would have been a blooper, wouldn't it?
A quick
time,
mention at the end of the day, once again, for Pepe Lopez. As the conditions dried out, they became difficult because of the mud and the gravel, but they dried out. The ice disappeared, Lopez came into his own. He's been, for me, he has been, as you mentioned last night, he has been around for a while, but
it's great to see somebody like him.
He hasn't absolutely rattled the bell and said, come look at me. This weekend, he has absolutely been ding-donging the bell saying, I can do this.
Yeah, absolutely, he can, Cole. And that, for me, a little bit is a surprise that he's continued that pace through Saturday, because you see these people, when they come to the front of a WRC2 round, suddenly it doesn't go to the head a little bit, but suddenly it's like, wow, now I've got to go even harder.
And then
to
there's pressure and expectation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a Monte Carlo rally
and
when
they
we're
can go
talking
through,
about.
but he's been so consistent right there. So for me, I hope he wins tomorrow.
Oh, so do I. Listen, folks, there's an awful lot to watch tomorrow. This whole new point structure will make Sunday. There's no question about that. It will make Sunday much more interesting than it would have been otherwise. We're very much looking forward to heading down, not quite to the Col de Turini.
No, you've got to say, we need to clarify this. Tomorrow's Sunday would still at 3.3 seconds going into Sunday.
No
it
question.
Would be exciting, of course it would, but the excitement perhaps wouldn't have continued all the way down the order.
Correct.
So, sorry.
Listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. But we are looking forward to the action, to the potential drama out there tomorrow. We're looking forward to going to the Col de Turini. The news is no snow. Doesn't matter because we're not driving across the col anyway. Strange one that. But we're still going to enjoy it. Final day of Rally Monte Carlo is tomorrow on Sunday, folks. Stay with us, dirtfish.com. We will bring you everything. Where's the button for the DirtFish Live Centre?
Right above my head.
Right above David's head. If you've missed anything today, we did get out and about. We did get some pictures, plenty of audio, plenty of little videos there for you.
If you want to see Colin
enjoy.
Cheating for the second day in succession, go and look on DirtFish Live Centre.
Loser. Some people are very magnanimous, decent losers. Some people are bad losers. Folks, we'll see you all again. It's been a joy having you with us today. We'll see you tomorrow.